What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Spill the Beans podcast.
Today is a very special day. Of course, we are having a beautiful guest. And if you guys watch J&J Vlogs and my channel, Blanca J, then you already know her. You've known her for like 2 years already. But if you don't, our special guest today is Noemy Ruiz. Wait, did you change your last name?
No.
Okay.
I
was like,
independent
imagine?
girly.
But yes, we have Noemy Ruiz with us here today. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for driving so far today in this fine morning.
Yes, and if you guys, she's like her and her husband Luis. He's not here today, but they are really, really special people to us. They are not only our really close friends, but they are Franco's madrina and padrino. So they are going to bautizarlo this year. Isn't that exciting?
You know that I was trying to look up the other day on Google. There's no word for like you and me or me and Luis, like
In English?
In English, compadres.
Compadre?
Like, say, because the other day I was like, because we were driving from your house, right? I was like, what if I get pulled over? Like, what do I tell the cop? Like, I'm coming from. No, I can't just say friends. I like my kids' godparents. And yeah, I was like, how do you say it? So I looked it up and it's like, yeah, you just have to say my son's godparents.
Yeah,
right?
because the definition of compadre is a very good friend.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on Google.
So Mexicans made that up?
I guess.
Compadre?
We have pretty cool words for different things. So yeah, I guess we did.
Anyways, guys, we're going to get right into it. We have some questions that you actually asked Noemi, because not only has she been through it all in terms of like a 9 to 5, she's just recently transitioned into her own self-employed. So we're going to be talking about that. That's exciting.
So yeah, guys, this is exciting. But of course, we're going to dive into the questions. And the most frequently asked question is, how did we meet both of them? So where did we meet? How did we meet? When it happened? So do you want to get into a little bit of the juice?
Yeah.
Yes. So it was a cold night. I'm just kidding. No, honestly, so Luis and me were actually not doing anything. We were at home, our first house. We were just at home chilling. It was, was it Friday or Saturday? Do you remember?
I think it was a Saturday.
A Saturday. We had no plans. And I was already following you, and I saw that you put on your story, like, is anybody going to rodeo? Because I think your friends didn't want to go or something like that, and you really wanted to go. And I had sent you a message, not thinking anything of it, because I know, like, people get 100 messages, and I thought maybe it would just get lost. And right away you responded, and I was like, fangirling. I was like, oh my gosh. And you were like, yeah, we're going to rodeo. Are you? And I was like, yeah, we are too. We didn't even have plans.
Like, first of all, I didn't have makeup done.
So I told Luis, I was like, dude, let's go to rodeo right now. And he was like, we were already like watching a movie. Like, it wasn't that late, but we were already, cuddled, like watching a movie. And he was like, really? Like, you want to go? And I was like, yes, like this girl. And he didn't even get it at first. Even still, when we met up with you guys, he was like, so do you know this girl? I was
like, well, yes.
Yes, I do, but she doesn't know me. No, but yeah, pretty much long story short, we met up at rodeo, and the rest is history. We kept hanging out, every single weekend after that.
And I remember, so it was that Saturday, we had just gone to Jonathan's family party. It was like Rodrigo's birthday or something. No. And I was like, I really want to go to rodeo tonight. And then he's like, dude, we have no friends to go with. And I was like, don't you worry. So I put it on Instagram.
No, you put it on Twitter.
No, on Instagram.
Or did Noemi message you on Twitter?
No, on Instagram.
No, it was Instagram because I followed her on Twitter that night, actually.
Oh. Well, yeah. She messaged me and she's like, oh, we're going. So I like clicked on her profile and I was like, she looks like a lot of fun. And so does
she doesn't look like a creep.
She looks like a
because you know what? Also, it was so sweet because I remember you even told me, you're like, oh, we can pick you guys up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't think she knows that we live in freaking Longmont. Yeah. But I also didn't know where you lived. So I was like, okay. So, yeah, I remember the picture that sold me was the Halloween costume picture. I think you were, what were you guys?
Bucanas and Squirt. Yeah.
I was like, aquí soy. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go and meet up. And we were nervous, huh? You guys can watch the vlog because I vlogged that night and I literally took like 6 shooters.
I feel like I didn't process it. I was like,
you didn't know what was happening?
Until we got there, I was like, dude, we're meeting up with strangers. Like,
yeah, and then tell them what happened when we got there.
So when we got there, Luis actually cut me off into my parking spot. Well, nah, he didn't really cut me off, but
he beat you to it.
He beat me to it. So I was kind of already ticked off with this truck. I was like, you know, this really nice Chevy and whatnot. So then they get off, and I was like, you know, whatever. Like, whatever. I got over it. And then come to, like, we literally walked behind them all the way to the door, and we texted each other, like, where you at? Or, you know, and then, yeah, it was them.
So we were having a little war with them before we went in. But I remember being super nervous. So I drank 6 shooters. You couldn't even keep up with me. Well, it's not that you couldn't keep up. It's that you didn't want to keep drinking them. No. But I drank so many shooters right before I went in. So
what did we do after?
We went to Almancitas.
Yes.
Oh, those were the days. Do you remember that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we ate carne asada fries. Oh, my God. It was so good.
When's the day we went to eat gorditas? Remember?
Gorditas?
Was it
like after the baile?
Yeah, it was like in Garden City, right there, like in the middle.
No? Maybe Almancitas?
Or was it Denver? That one restaurant, remember?
Which one?
I'm tripping.
I can't remember.
I just remember being super fucked up, and the food fucked me up the next day.
Was it when Lulu came the next weekend and and then you know what? We were in Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Because Celine went to, oh my God, we were all so drunk.
Yeah. We were
my God,
bad.
all of us.
Wait, that was the day that Luis left his phone in the Uber.
Oh my God,
yes.
Yes, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was the second weekend we hung out because Lulu came.
Yes. So literally after that weekend that we met at Rodeo, did we end up hanging out the next day or no? Because that was usually our routine. Like, we would go out, and then on Sunday we'd still go and like have a carne asada.
We weren't that close yet.
Okay.
Well, that was our first date.
Yeah, after that, we just literally kept hanging out. Like, wherever we were going, like, hey, do you guys want to come? And then I think it was nice because we had finally found a couple friend, you know? Because most of my friends and his friends at the time, they were all single. So we never really had people to go on dates with. And then we found Luis and I were like, de aquí somos. And then Luis and Jonathan clicked, which was really, really well.
I think we bonded really quick because of obviously car sales.
Yeah.
So that was way easier. Like, I understood his life right away. I was like, okay, you know.
Yes. And Luis does not like anybody. Like, to me, I was like, I knew because you see people's personality online, and I was like, I feel like Luis and Jonathan would get along super well. But that was just me in my head. But then you guys, I mean, the first day did you guys click right away, or was it kind of awkward?
We talked right away.
I think we were not awkward at all.
No.
Yeah. You can tell in the vlog you guys were kind of kicking it off.
And Luis, you can tell right away when he's not vibing. He puts his guard up right away. So instead of liking somebody right away, he like doesn't like somebody right away. And for you, like when I saw him like hanging out with you, like actually making an effort to talk to you, I was like, okay, he kind of likes him. And then the next weekend, you guys were hanging out, like drinking and stuff. I was like, okay, fine.
Oh my
like
God,
we found it.
Was so
I feel
fun.
like I also, because of like the industry we're in, I also make it a point now to like make a good first impression, because I don't want people to say that I'm a dick or I have a resting bitch face. So I do go out my way to be nicer. But like, if I already know you, then I'm okay being in a bad mood, you know? Like, I'm like, I'm gonna show it to his house because I'm not feeling it, you know? Yeah. So it's okay, like, you know. The other day when you guys did the massages, I told Luis, like, he wanted to do this, and I was like, bro, I just want to get drunk and watch a movie. Okay. He's like, all right, we can do that, you know? So, but then Olney would have been like, yeah, bro, like, or if we had barely met, like, yeah, let's go Topgolf, this.
Yeah.
But since we're so close now, it's like, bro, just let's get fucked up and watch Superbad.
Oh my God, you guys watched that again?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, guys, so that's how we met. And literally after that, we just, I think, pretty much started hanging out every single weekend. Yeah. And we just grew our relationship very, very close. So we would party, and then we'd go to carne asadas, and then it was just like that. Our friendship went like, it moved really fast.
Yeah, it did. Honestly, I feel like we said I love you super quick. No, I'm just kidding.
Literally. No, I'm just kidding. Like, love you, bye.
I know. Yeah, but honestly, like, it started, I feel like we knew, like, we clicked right away. And then after that, because you know when you hang out with somebody and you're like, I'm not going to hang out with this person again. But we did. I think after that, we hung out like 2 more times, like, consecutively. And then we just kept, it was like a once a week type thing, huh?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's crazy. So that's how we met them, guys. We're gonna jump into more of the questions. So we really want you guys to like get to meet Noemi on like personal level. So we want you guys to know everything that we know about her, all the tea. Just kidding.
Don't ask me my body count. I'm just kidding.
So what's your body count, girl? Just kidding. Okay. So we're gonna start off. I guess we'll just go with the first one, or do you want to start?
You can go.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. What or who inspired you to do makeup?
So I've always been like a girly girl. Like I've always been that little chamaquita that always like wanted to wear makeup since I was young. I actually remember when I was like 4 or 5, I got into my great grandma's lipsticks, and I like all over my face, put it all over my face. I ruined her lipstick. So I've literally always been like a glam girl. I knew when I was in high school, my plan was to go to a 4-year college and then right after that go to cosmetology school, because I just knew like I wanted to do that. I wanted to do something in the beauty industry, more specifically makeup. I started makeup, so I would do my own makeup, whatever. People would compliment me. I just learned from YouTube pretty much. At that point, it was just me practicing on myself. When I was 16, 2 girls that I knew, they weren't really my friends, but like we knew each other on social media. They hit me up and they were like, we're going to homecoming. Will you do our makeup? And I was like, me? Like to me, that was like the craziest thing in the world. Like, you want me to do your makeup? Like, who am I? But they had me go over, and at that time I didn't even drive yet. Actually, my parents dropped me off. I did their makeup and everything, and like I took my own palettes. I don't remember if I bought brushes yet at that time, but I had bought a few things and I had tried to take a few things, of my own, and then I did it and I was like, wow, that was so satisfying. Like the adrenaline I got from that was like, oh my gosh. And after that, it was just kind of word of mouth. Like I would post my mostly on Facebook, kind of Instagram. I would post my makeup, and then people would just kind of like be like, will you do my makeup? Will you do my makeup? And then after that was just like word of mouth or like on social media. So that's how I started. And then I don't know, but honestly, I've always been into it. I've always liked makeup.
Yeah. You are a very girly girl, and I feel like your makeup always looks amazing. But I think we forgot to say this in the intro, but you are a makeup artist and a licensed esthetician.
Yes.
Is that how
yes,
you say it?
ma'am.
I'm like, is that how you say it? So she does makeup, and then before you did makeup full time, you worked at a waxing place? Is that what it's called?
I was
so
coochie waxing.
Every single day.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
did you only do like Brazilians and stuff, or did you do like armpits, legs, everything?
Yeah, it was full body. It's a full body studio, and then they have massage. I didn't do the massage, but they have facials as well, and I would do the facials. And they were adding more things like eyebrow tinting, stuff like that, but that wasn't my calling.
Yeah.
How'd you get that job? Did you know what you were like signing up for? Like you were gonna have to see coochies every day?
Yes and no. Honestly, it was kind of weird. So I was working at Ulta at that time, and I was just kind of doing eyebrows first. Like that was all I was doing, and I hated it. I hated working corporate. I hated working at Ulta. It was just, sales are hard. Sales are not for me. And I actually went to go get a Brazilian done, and the girl there was talking to me. You talk to the girl, they try to make you feel as comfortable as possible. And she was like, well, what are you doing, this and that? And I was like, I'm actually like looking for something else. And she told me they were hiring. I talked to the manager that day. The next day I had an interview, and they called me right away. And I was there for 3 years. But I don't know, I just kind of interviewed, like, not knowing exactly what was going to happen. Like, I didn't know. I didn't even like waxing, honestly.
You just wanted, like, a change?
Yeah. I just wanted something different. And I don't know, I loved it there. As soon as I started there, like, I was like, wow, like, even though I don't have a passion for waxing, it was just a nice place. But I don't know, it wasn't even, like, how you would think. Like, the first time somebody opened their legs, I wasn't like so scared. I was just kind of like, this is what it is, just like with anything, you have to be professional about it. I couldn't act scared, or I couldn't act like, oh my gosh, like,
that's a coochie.
That's normal. A coochie, I know.
So at that place was the first time you ever waxed?
Yeah, and they trained me there. Like, even in school, I had barely done any waxing. You learn waxing, but I went to a pretty crappy school, so I barely even practiced waxing. But there, they trained me for Brazilians and anything else that I needed. And honestly, I think I practiced on 2 Brazilians. That was it. And they were like, all right, you're done.
And how was your first Brazilian wax ever?
I don't remember. I really don't remember. I remember the first one that like I watched, but I don't remember the first one that I waxed. Damn. But I know it was rough for that person.
Do they like flinch and stuff? Like,
oh yeah. Especially first time people there. You are. If I'm nervous and they're nervous, like that's not a good combination. So I have to be as calm as possible. After doing it for a while, I was really good at it. But the first few ones, I'm like, I feel so bad for them, and they had to pay for that. But they definitely.
Would they tell you why? Like, their story? Like,
Sometimes,
why?
sometimes. Some people, some people are so open. They're like too open.
They're like,
And
I
some
got
people,
a hot date tonight.
yeah.
or-
Oh my gosh, the stories I would get, disgusting. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care. Like sometimes like I know it's because they were nervous and they were like talking. But
Yeah.
sometimes I was just like, you
That's
don't need
too
to say,
much.
yeah, you don't need to tell me everything. But some people you could tell they were so nervous and they would just get in and not say anything. But it's worse when you're sitting there and they're not
just
saying anything and
quiet.
you're just waxing them. That's so
Yeah.
bad.
So would you say it's more nerve-wracking to wax or to get waxed?
To get waxed. I think at the beginning when you wax,
Yeah.
it's more nerve-wracking, but now that like I did it forever, it was nothing to me. But now to get waxed, I still get nervous.
Really?
Yeah, and I go like once a month, and I still am like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
This might be too much TMI, but do girls get waxed just on the top or like
You can
all
get
the tender
everything.
area, like
Everything.
in the
Yeah.
thing?
Front to back.
Even your butthole.
Yes.
What? So you rip like their
Hairs
their
off.
vagina,
Not the vagina.
Not
No,
the
but,
whole
like,
thing.
around
That's a
there.
lawsuit.
you know?
Yeah. No. Everything. Everything from literally.
I thought it was just the top, like the landing strip. Like
No.
You can
Everything.
leave a landing strip.
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. Like that area, like I thought that just got waxed. But
No.
more down, like
Is a
Literally-
Brazilian everything?
Yeah. Front to back. Everything. Done.
did you guys do? Well, I mean, do guys get Brazilians?
Yeah, I think they call them manzillions, but where we, I know, but where I was working, we didn't
They
do that.
didn't?
No,
What? So in places that they do it, is it a guy or is it a girl too?
it's usually a girl, and it's a lot of liability. So they like scan their driver's license. Because men are creeps.
Oh,
So-
for them, like
Yeah,
say
yeah,
they
yeah.
do something, they have all their information.
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
have to
I thought you
sign a
meant
waiver.
like if they rip their or hurt them, It's
I mean,
more-
probably
Not
that
if they
too.
rip
Yeah,
their balls
I'm
off.
sure that's in the waiver because they have to sign a waiver saying, like, I don't know, but I've heard some stories about men too that.
Oh yeah.
That's so scary.
I know.
But yeah, I've never gotten a Brazilian. I've never gotten waxed before.
Yeah, you have.
I remember one time like Gabby tried to wax,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Okay, fine." Like she literally wanted to give me like a wax, and I was like, "No." And she's like, "Okay, fine. I'll do like your like bikini area." I was like, "Okay." So she tried it, girl. I was like, "I'm never doing this." But granted, it was Gabby. She wasn't like
No,
she
yeah.
hasn't
Yeah.
been doing this forever,
Yeah.
But maybe I'll get waxed once because I heard that it's really nice after,
Yes.
like it's super nice.
And you're
so.
clean. Not me promoting. I'm like, no, but
You're like,
they-
call me at this number.
I know, seriously. No, you're clean, like you're hairless for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Damn, that's really.
And you only have to go once
But
a month.
when it grows back, isn't that worse?
No, because so when you shave, your hair grows.
Oh,
like
it doesn't
long.
come out thick.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
It comes out
okay.
like thin,
Thinner.
like if natural growth,
Oh,
like if you're barely starting
no.
to grow hair. When your beard hair starts
Yeah.
coming out, that's how it comes out pretty much. And
Oh.
then it comes out thinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know for when I go in.
I think we should go get a Brazilian and a Brazilian
Frick no, man.
and vlog it.
Vlog it. Yes. Yes, please.
Do you ever get baby fever? And this could have been before Franco.
Yes, I mean before Franco, yeah, I would get baby. I feel like you get baby fever, you see babies, and you're like, oh, maybe. But I am terrified. I'm terrified to have a baby. But then, I don't know. Franco came around, and I watched. You guys are like the closest people I've ever seen. Have a baby and be there from the literal beginning. Like second day was it? First
Yeah.
week we were.
Yeah.
First week, you guys are the only people that I've seen. Like Franco's the only baby I've really seen grow and been close to. So now that I see him, I'm like, okay, it's not horrible, but
Yeah.
absolutely, I have a lot of baby fever. Luis is worse than me, but because he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel
yeah.
like it's a little bit less nerve-wracking for guys.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to go through all the stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny because you're like, oh, of course, I've always had baby fever, but I have never had baby fever. Well, like I have, but not really. You
Yeah.
know, like even with like close friends. But I also feel like it's because of the like I had to take care of my sisters when they were little, so I think that's why I didn't have baby fever. And how old is or how far apart are you and Kari?
6 years. So I was little. I
Yeah.
don't even remember. I barely remember her being a baby at all.
Okay, so yeah, and I'm over here like, oh girl, like I
Yeah.
had to take care of them. So I think it's a little bit different in that.
Yeah,
sense, but-
you were probably over it, and
Yeah.
I've never really been around babies like that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's exciting. So hopefully Franco will have cousins close in age.
Yeah.
Y si se animan Luis y Noemi, because if not, then he's gonna be an only everything for a couple
Yeah.
years.
For a while.
Yep. Okay. Will Franco be your guys' first godson?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, Franco.
I know Franco's so special to my heart, but yes.
Oh, that's so nice. That's crazy. I can't even believe that we're here right now.
I
Like,
know.
you think about us, like, a year and a half ago, we were out in Miami partying it up, and now
Yes.
all wholesome.
I know.
What's something that you guys will definitely inculcar to Franco when he gets older?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Because Blanca and I, so your answer is like a little bit more like honest. Like we view godparents like seriously, you know, even though we don't like, I'm not saying we go to church every day. We're like pray, you know, we're not super religious, but we do take the role and the title as like really important, and not just like, ay, la peda for like mi compadres el día de, you know?
Yeah.
So I do like, I'm going to give you guys all the confidence and all the like to correct my son when I'm not there, you know? So obviously like, si quiero que ustedes lo regañen, and like if he's doing something bad, like when he's older, like advice, like, so that, yeah, like, what do you like, ¿qué le vas a inculcar, se dice? Like to him, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with you guys. I feel like that's why we also click so well, because I feel like we're spiritual, but we're not religious, you know? So
Exactly.
same with us, like we are the same religion, I guess, but we don't go to church, none of that. So I think in that way, you guys, even from the beginning, like the way your parenting style, I admire your parenting style. And I feel like Luis and I would never like obviously say anything or do anything against your parenting style or like your beliefs, because I feel like we have the same type of beliefs. I think just anything that like, I mean, everybody hopes that their child has enough confidence in their parents to have enough to, yeah, and to tell them everything. But I would want to be able to be there for him in case, you know, he's like, I don't want to tell my mom or my dad this, you know, something like that. I would want to be somebody that he has enough trust in, that he's like, okay, like, I'm not ready to tell my parents yet, or maybe he is, but I want to be somebody that just, he has trust in, and that he trusts enough to I can't find the word, but yeah, pretty much that. Just have that trust. There's nothing in specific that I would say, like, he obviously, like, you're the parents, but there's nothing in specific that I would be like, he has to do this, or you know, he's gonna be his own person, he's gonna do whatever he wants anyway, pretty much. I mean, within lines, but yeah, as long as he has trust in us, I feel like we just have to back him up in whatever he wants. There's nothing really that I'm like,
he has to do
this is it. Yeah. As long as you guys are okay with it, and I would never do anything. Well, we would never do anything and not tell you guys. You know, we would never tell him anything, like, you know, behind his back. I'm like, well, don't tell your parents, though.
Imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the big reasons we chose you guys, because we love just how you guys are as people. We know that you guys are good people. So I'm like you're saying, you want him to trust you enough to, like, if he doesn't feel comfortable enough to tell us something first, like, he'll go and ask for your advice first. So I think we chose you guys because we know that if he's ever like stuck in something that he doesn't want to tell either of us, he's gonna get good advice from you guys, you know. So we do see it as, like, I know a lot of people say, like, if in case we die, like, obviously, like, we trust that you guys are gonna keep raising him to be a good person as well. So I think that was one of the big reasons where, like, they're good people, we love and trust them, and we love how you think and everything. So that was one of the important features that you guys had, that were like, yes, they are meant to be his godparents. Do you have any?
No, yeah. I mean, I go straight to the extreme. I was like, if we died on the airplane flying Spirit, you know, to LA, I was like, I was like, Luis is a good man that I would want my son to look up to, you know. And not only that, like, yeah, like you say, like, obviously, I feel like, I'm not saying that I'm gonna be a strict dad or whatever, but I do feel like Luis, I feel like Blanca takes out the good in me in a, like, in a loving relationship, but Luis also takes the good out of me in a friendship and when it comes to doing stuff and driving. And I admire that because he works like long hours, but is willing to drive to Denver right away. You know, and that to me clicks in my head. I'm like, okay, Jonathan, like you need to stop being like a little bitch. Like Luis works all day and he's willing to drive. Like you can lift your enthusiasm even though you don't like to go out, you know? So I see that in a friend. So I'm like, I want my son to have that, because while I'm being strict and I'm being mad at him for his grades or going out, then he can have, you know, Nino Luis to be like, pues mi hijo, pues es que sí se portó mal, you know, but be nicer, you know, because I will be meaner. I just have to as a parent. So,
and also, I think having a voice, I mean, obviously, like when your parents are telling you something, you're just like, yeah, blah, 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 you know, whatever. But when it comes from somebody else, sometimes you listen more to them. You have more, even though your parents are completely right most of the time, you know, when it comes from somebody else, you're like, oh yeah,
damn, they're right.
Yeah.
You just have to hear it from someone
exactly.
Yes.
And I feel like we all have pretty much the same values. So it would be the same thing. He would just need to hear it from, or learn, or, you know, whatever from somebody else.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he's in good hands with you guys. So that's why we're so excited to have them be Blanco's godparents. It's gonna be so nice. And it's just like you guys being another pair of like Dios as well.
Yeah.
You know? Super, like someone that he knows is super close in relationship with us.
Well, this one's a juicy one, I mean. And you can be completely honest, okay? How would you feel if one day Blanca and Jonathan separate, since y'all are compadres?
Wow, yeah, that's...
Let me paint you a scenario. Let's say it was like a good breakup, like a mutual, like whatever. Would you still like let Luis hang out with me and stuff like that?
Yeah, even if it was a bad breakup, I mean, as long as I feel like both of us are friends with both of you. You know, it's not like just me and Blanca are friends, you and Luis are friends. Like I feel like we all just get along. So I wouldn't want to, obviously, like, I would probably take Blanca's side more at first, but then I'd be like, okay, like, what about Jonathan? That would be devastating. Honestly, that would be, we would probably be as hurt as you guys. But I don't know. I feel like we would try to be like a voice of reason. Is there any reconciliation? If not, then, I mean, support you guys. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's literally just support you guys in whatever you would want.
Right.
But that would be devastating.
I know, imagine. Very good answer. But as, like, when you think about it, Jonathan's always going to be a part of my life, and, like, so are you guys. So I guess we would always just have to get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless some shady stuff was happening.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like, on an off note, like if when people break up and they have a kid, it's like you still got to deal with them for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So, like, it's kind of like in the movies when the lady leaves the husband and she gets with another guy and they have a family, but like truly does that lady like 100%, like, you know, because the husband's always gonna be there, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like weird.
Yeah. That's why when I watch movies like that, I'm like, I think they still love each other, you know, because it's so crazy to think like you leave your husband. In my case, like it'd be my high school sweetheart, my first everything. Like I can't. It's crazy to think like, what would I do? Like, would I? We've talked about like, oh, would you even if I died or if he died, would you remarry? And I'm like, it feels like impossible, you know, because
exactly.
So it's like, how do people in the movies do it? But they're movies, obviously. But I'm like, that's you're always gonna be a part of each other's life. Wouldn't it just be great to like get along and be in love?
Hypothetically, yeah.
The best way would be to just give it like split everything in half and just get along, you know.
Yeah. But in that case, that's why you always have to pick. I've always heard this, like, yes, pick a good partner, but pick a good dad, like a good father figure for your kids. Because even if he's not a good partner, you guys can still be good parents, you know, as long as you guys are co-parenting.
Like,
as long as you guys are co-parenting, we're okay.
Have you remember Good Boys when the little black kid, his parents, there was like 2 Taco Tuesdays.
Like, that's so sad. The trauma.
Yeah.
I think you know what I was looking at the other day, now that you say like, you split everything in half, obviously, but I on TikTok, this girl came up, she's a lawyer, I think, and she's like, how do you guys feel about prenups, you know? And Jonathan and I have talked about it. It's since we built everything we have together, like it doesn't make sense, obviously, because it's not like he had a huge amount of money or I had a huge amount of money before we got married. But then the lady was talking and she's like, well, I think you should have a prenup regardless of anything, because it's like a will. Like, if you don't leave a will, the government will give you an already written will, and maybe the money's not gonna go to who you want it to go to, right? So then she's like, what do you want? Like, say your husband cheats on you, like, you have to write in the prenup, like, if he cheats on me, then like, this is what I get and this is what he gets. And she was just saying, like, you either do that or you let the government, like, do you trust the government to truly split things in half, and like, they're not gonna take the guy's side?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that is so crazy. Like, remember How to Get Away with Murder? How the one of the guy's moms wouldn't let the girl marry her son unless she signed a prenup.
Yeah.
But I'm like, isn't that so crazy? Because you never hear of that, like, in the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
But how do you...
But Hispanics also don't get divorced that much.
Ever.
That's true.
They just stay in a toxic relationship forever.
Don't talk to each other, sleep on the
No.
same bed for years.
My God.
Dude, my grandparents...
I was about to say my grandparents too.
My grandparents literally, like, would sit on opposite ends of the couch to watch TV, would never say a word to each other till the day that she passed. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. I mean, my grandparents were very similar. They wouldn't not say a word to each other, but they were always bickering, and not even like how we bicker. You know, you guys bicker, me and Luis bicker. No, like, just went nonstop. Like, I don't remember them ever saying anything nice to each other.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
And same until the day my grandpa died.
And then, you know, something else to go along with that, I remember when you guys were taking your church classes to get married, and I asked her, I was like, oh, so how is it? And you're like, girl, like, look, listen to this.
Yeah.
And you were telling me everything that el padre tells you when you're about to marry, that you have to, like, forgive basically anything that he does. Like, divorce is not an option at all. I'm like, this is why these ladies stay married to men or toxic bad men for life, because they think that they have to just forgive everything.
Yes. You have to be a martyr to your husband. And it's always like, and the way I see it too, the way they were explaining it to you, it was always like directed to the woman. Like, the woman's like, if your husband cheats, you have to stick with him.
They never said if the husband, if she cheats, you gotta stay.
Yeah, which I'm sure, I know it goes both ways, but the way they were like teaching it, they were like, yes, so if your husband teaches, if your husband cheats, you have to stick with him. If you know, they were just giving all these scenarios. You have to, yes, and they're also very traditional, because I remember they were like, the woman is the what is it called, the provider of the household. No, not the provider, actually the opposite, like in charge of the household. The dad should be the father should be the provider, and he's supposed to teach the children about religion. So the mom has to hold everything down pretty much, and then the father just pretty much just comes home and has to teach the kid. Like, teaching the kids the religion is the job of the dad. I'm like,
That's fishy.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, because I think in a lot of Hispanic households, in the toxic ones, it's like the dad, since he already worked all day, he gets to come home, sit on the couch, and eat dinner that's already ready, and like has nothing to do with the kids. And isn't that crazy? Like, that's basically what you see. The dad is just there while the mom's like cooking, cleaning, helping the kids with the homework, helping them get ready for bed, brush their teeth, like all of that. And the dad's just there. And I'm like,
rascándose la panza.
Seriously. And I'm like, when you clock out of your job, you clock into being a parent. Like, you have to be a parent 24/7, whether you're tired, whether you worked all day, whether you didn't sleep. And like, isn't that something that you have noticed now? Like, oh shit, if I sleep at 3 a.m. playing video games, I still have to wake up at 7 with Franco, you know? So I'm like, the fact that I feel like maybe it was different back then, because there isn't, like, a lot of us have daddy issues, mommy issues because of how everything was. But I'm like, that's another thing that we want to inculcar in Franco. It's like, yeah, you're gonna be a hardworking man, but when you're a husband and a father, like, I hope that Jonathan and Luis are a good enough example that he's gonna be a good husband and a gentleman, and you know, all of that.
Yes.
Because,
and a good dad, like a present dad. Just because you provide for your children, that doesn't mean you're present.
Exactly.
I feel like that goes all the way to like little kids. Like, it's instilled in them, because I was watching this TikTok. It's like to, like, let's say second graders at a youth retreat or whatever, like a little church gathering, and it's like, I remember this because it's happened to us. It's like, all right, time for like recess, like all the boys, you're gonna go out and play kickball, and then the girls are all happy to go. It's like, no, but girls, you're gonna stay here with nun Judy, and you're gonna talk about how to make your husband happy in the future and how to clean the house, okay?
Yeah.
And then it's like that's true. Like I remember being in like congresos, like the adults are going like, you know, talking about God, and then the kids in the kids room are like being lectured and stuff. It's like, but the boys do whatever they want. Like we're playing
Yes.
outside, tag, wrestling, and the girls are like reading the Bible and stuff. And it's
Yes.
like, damn, desde chiquitas, like las tienen así pues
Yes,
entrenadas. I'm like,
coloring
that's sad.
Jesus' head on
Or
the coloring
even
book.
how as little kids you buy them cocinas, you buy them like so that from little tiny girls, like they're already mopping and vacuuming and like
Yes.
washing the dishes. But it's like in a way like, oh, that's so cute because they see the mom doing it, so they want to do it too. But and like you're literally, since they're tiny, les estás inculcando that you are responsible for this and the man is not.
Yes.
Because I remember even growing up, my mom would always make me clean, but like my brother could do whatever he wanted and he didn't have to clean the bathroom and he didn't have to do this. So I'm like, damn, like how I feel like from all of them, like how are we going to make Franco know that he has to do chores too, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think you did chores, right?
Yeah, I did chores all
I remember like going over once, he was like sweeping and I'm like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I hope that we get to I hope that Franco grows and knows like he doesn't grow into a toxic masculinity type of guy, and he's like, no, it's okay to be just who you want to be and not like your freaking dad or tío that has been.
I feel like you
a
get
machista
super
his whole
soft
life.
once you have your son, like your daughter. Because I was like that. I was like, no, my son no va a jugar con muñecas or whatever, you know? Because, like, no quiero que, like, eso le entre la idea. But then I had him, and then the other day, Blanca, le quise poner yo una ponytail. And she was like, no, like, my mom says that he looks like a girl. I'm like, pues no es. Aquí tiene sus huevotes pa que vea. You know, like, so it's like, I don't care if my son wants to wear ponytails or anything like that, you know? Like, it's like, everything changes once you have him. Like, you love him more than what society tells you should.
Yeah.
You know, he should be. So.
And even the other day, you were like, oh, I can't wait for him to be old enough to do gymnastics. And I'm like, why do you want him to do gymnastics? He's like, because I don't want him to not be flexible like me. Like, he wants him to be flexible and, like, do everything, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, like, I wonder why my parents didn't think, like, let me put her in sports so she can, like, have another outlet of, like, anger or, like, anxiety and stuff like that, you know? They're just, like, I don't know, it's crazy. Just growing up in a Hispanic household. Because I feel like everyone's pretty, ¿cómo se dice? It's, like, common in every Hispanic.
Yeah.
Like, did you do sports when you were little?
I did do a little bit, but I'm not athletic. So I think when I was little, I did a little bit. When I was in middle school, I did basketball. In high school, I did some soccer, but it was never anything serious. You know, it was never anything like I was forced to do. My brother, on the other hand, did every single sport he did for a year, every year. Since he was little up until end of high school, he pretty much did every single sport, except for in high school, he did a little bit of wrestling and football, but he was active. Yeah.
And being in your Hispanic, like in your how you grew up and everything, what is something that you let's say, what is one thing that you want to take away from it and like instill in your kids, and then what is something you're like, I'm gonna change this and make sure that they're not like this?
Yeah.
What would you say?
So I really look up to my parents' marriage. I am so grateful and thankful for the marriage that they have, because like I see it, I know obviously no marriage is perfect. Like, I'm not saying they don't fight, but I think the way they solve problems with each other, the way they communicate, the way they love each other, I really look up to them. So I really try to be like them in my marriage, where I try to communicate. Like, I mean, I already messed up because growing up, I never really was allowed to say bad words. My parents don't ever like say bad words, and you guys know me. I talk like a tío. I'm like, right now I'm reserving myself, but you guys know I talk like a tío, and like Luis and me talk to each other. But I mean, obviously we have boundaries, and we know like we're not going to take it too far. You know, when we talk to each other, like we call each other way, we call each other, you know, but obviously like that's an understanding between us. That doesn't mean everybody else has to be like that. Yeah. But anyway, going back to that, I think in my marriage, I think if your kids see a healthy marriage, they will, that's what they're going to see. So that's what they're going to know. Same, you know, if it was the other way around, if they see a toxic marriage, toxic relationship, that's all they're going to know. So they're not going to know what a good relationship is. Yeah. So I think that very much the marriage what I don't, I'm like, I could start a list of what I don't want to do. And I think it's just breaking the generational traumas. Obviously, like my mom, she did much better than my grandma did, but she still, traumatized us in many ways.
Yeah.
And I know obviously she didn't mean to. She tried the best that she could, but she couldn't fix those problems before having us. And so obviously, it just keeps going and going until, somebody actually does the work, puts in the work and fixes it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's me, But one of the things I really, really, I've been really working on it for the past few years, communication. I self-diagnosed myself. Growing up, it's always, and I feel like it's similar with a lot of households, but I don't know, this affected me a lot. It was pretty much like, you're the kid, you don't have a say because you're a kid. The adults know everything. You don't get a say. And we never got a say for anything. And so now as a grown-up, I have a really, really hard time communicating anything at all. I have a hard time communicating. Anytime that when I was little, anytime I would communicate, it would turn into anger, frustration, and just crying and crying and crying. And instead of them trying to ask me what was wrong, they would make fun of me or make me feel worse about crying. Because obviously nobody likes crying. Like when there's a crying child, a frustrated child, they're frustrated too. So they didn't know how to let me communicate. So now I'm, as an adult, years later, I'm trying to learn how to communicate, learn how to express my feelings, because I'm really, really bad. I don't know how to express my feelings.
Yeah.
And to me, I want to be able to be emotional. I'm not emotional in any way. Like, to me, emotion is bad. It's not. I'm trying to break that, but to me, emotion is bad. Like, I don't let myself cry. I don't let myself, feel sad or mad or anything like that, because I wasn't taught how to portray those feelings. So that would be one thing. And I'm even working on it now. I feel like I'm so much better now, but communication, absolutely, with anybody, because it starts at home and then it goes
everywhere else.
Yeah, it goes in your work, in your life, with your friends.
Yeah. I think even now, knowing what I know about you is you are already working with all of that, because every time we ask you, like, oh, are you ready to have a kid? And you're like, no, like I'm working on my mental, like, am I mentally ready, emotionally ready?
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people don't think about that. Like, they don't think about how you have to prepare not only your body, but your mind, your heart, everything to have a child, because like they say, a happy mom is a good mom, So I love that every time we ask you, you're like, well, I still need some things to work through, so that I know I'm mentally ready and capable of raising a happy and good child, So I'm like, at least we're getting somewhere, like now we know, oh, we can get therapy and we can talk to someone, and then we can help them talk us through our emotions to raise a good or a happy baby. So it's like, at least we're already like kind of breaking those traumas, because,
or at least working towards it.
Exactly, because if you think about like our parents, like they went through so much and still had to raise us. So it's like, I can kind of understand why we're so traumatized, but damn, it's a lot of work that we have to put in our kids now. So
yeah,
and having a child is not easy.
Yeah, I know. Kudos to you. That's why I'm like, my respect to you guys, because oh my gosh. And Franco's a good baby. Like he is such a good baby. I can't imagine, I mean, there's no bad babies, but I can't imagine having, a more fussy child, or a more, just difficult child, pretty much. Franco's a good baby, and I'm like yes,
thankfully.
He's a
let's see, another question I wanted to ask you, because we want to dive more into like how you went from having a 9 to 5 to being like,
I was about to just ask her that too.
Let's get married, babe. How, or you go ahead, ask her.
No, I just wanted to know that transition. Like, so how long have you been self-employed for? And how's it going? Like, do you like it, or do you want to go back?
Or what made you make the jump? Like, I'm done, I need to go.
Yeah. So that was, honestly, it has always been the goal. Always been the goal. But I always thought, I live in Greeley. Who's going to need their freaking makeup done? How am I going to make a living out of doing makeup? And I would be, there a lot of the times I would be booked, especially Saturdays. So I would always try to take Saturdays off on my 9 to 5 so that I could, because parties, quinceañeras, weddings, all the stuff are usually on Saturdays. So I would try to just take Saturdays off if I can, or I would always request Saturdays off. But I wasn't busy enough. It was just, to me, side money, side cash. I was hustling, whatever. Like I said, it was always the dream. I always wanted to go to a makeup seminar, and I don't know why I didn't. I think I was just nervous. I don't know. And so finally I did I think it was February, maybe in March, April, around there. Yeah, I think it was in March of this year. And I went to a makeup seminar, and I met so many makeup artists that it was mostly in the Denver area, but I met so many makeup artists that are like, yeah, I do this full time. Yeah, I do this full time. And her name is Angelica. Angelica also was like just not only giving tips and tricks about makeup, but about like business and how she started and all these things. And she was sitting there doing makeup, and I'm like, I literally am her. Like, I could do this. I have the same, it's, obviously different products, but I'm like, I literally do all of this already. Why can I not do this full time? What's stopping me from doing it full time? And just talking to all of the makeup artists that are doing it full time, I'm like, I can literally do this. I'm licensed. It's not even like, oh, like, I don't have the means for it. I'm licensed. I was already like a professional makeup artist. I just was doing it part time, and I think that I was just so scared. But when I did the master class, I was like, this is it. Being around all those people, I was like, this is it. I have to do it. And if I don't do it now, if I wait until, I don't know, if I wait until I got a sign, or I don't know what I was waiting for, and it would never happen. So after that, I was really, really considering it. Obviously, I talked to my husband, and that's another thing. So for me, I could do it right away. I kind of just leaped into it, put all of, everything into it, because I have such a supportive husband, not just like emotionally, but like in case I'm not making ends meet, obviously he's my backup, But to me, I don't think I could have done it if it wasn't for him, because he has been telling me forever, you need to do it. And I was like, I just get, you get so self-conscious, you get so caught up in all of the negative that I was like, yeah, you know what? I know you've been telling me forever, but I think this is the push I needed to finally do it. So as soon as I took the master class that same week, I was thinking about it, and I talked to my boss, and I was like, I think I'm leaving. And I gave her pretty much, I stayed for a month, maybe a month and 2 weeks more. And once I started, I also, after that, I saw that I was getting more booked. And so then I was like, okay, so I can't be working this job and be doing makeup. And at first I was thinking maybe I'll stay part-time and do makeup. But it's just there's no way I wouldn't want, first of all, I would be, I do not, if I'm going to do something, I don't half-ass it. I'm not going to half-ass it. And so I was like, if I'm doing like 2 days a week over here, I'm going to be like, call in all the time, I'm not going to put any effort into it. I'm not even going to enjoy it. I don't want to be that employee. Like, I didn't want to be that person. So I was like, this has to be it. And yeah, finally, I left in, was it April? So my last week was when we went to California. When was that?
That was the last week of April.
Yeah, exactly. So last week of April, that was my last week. And after that, I just started getting more booked. After I started, promoting myself a little bit more booked. And also, I'm like, fun fact, the exposure I get from, just when you post me on social media, anything, the exposure I get is so much more than I would be able to do by myself. So also thank you. Aww. But the exposure I get from, just, you can literally tag me one time and people are looking for a makeup artist and they're like, oh my gosh, I follow her, she's a makeup artist, So it just kind of worked. That's also why I started getting more and more busy, more and more booked because of that, because people would see, oh, like, that's her friend, she does makeup, let me book her. And that's how I started getting busy. And now I was thinking, at first I thought, okay, it's just going to be like on the weekends, which it is. The weekends are my busiest days, but photo shoots, bridal trials, graduations, that keeps me busy. I'm not saying every single day of the week, I'm not there yet, but it keeps me busy during the week. And then I'm also my own secretary. So a lot of people say like, oh, like, you did it, so what do you do now? And I'm like, well, who do you think does emails? Who do you think answers people? Who do you think does scheduling, invoices, and then like anything tax related?
Practice too.
Yeah, and sanitizing. I have to clean the amount of times I have to clean my kit, get everything ready, travel, like, yeah, it sounds like, oh, you just like do makeup. Yeah, I do just makeup, but I'm my own secretary, and I would love to have an assistant, but I'm not there yet.
Girl, you know the last time I washed my brushes like 2 years ago.
You have to do that after every
single
in between client. Yeah.
You last time you did that, we were like 16. Nah, for real. I was
you
there.
calling me?
Damn, babe.
Yeah, that is one of the another huge reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast, because I'm like, first of all, Colorado literally has nothing. Like, if I think Colorado, I don't think like, oh, there's so many things. No, it has nothing. Like photographers, videographers, makeup artists. So I'm like, I need to tell people, like, we have an amazing makeup artist in Greeley, and you travel. I mean, you go freaking, where have you gone to? Glenwood, Breckenridge. She's going to New Mexico. She's going to New Mexico this weekend and do a whole quinceañera. Like, I'm like, we need to get you out there, and we need people to know, because when I got my maternity pictures done, they're like, oh my god, like, who did you make? I'm like, girl, my friend, you know. So I want people to know that you do this, and it's exciting. I hope that you get all the exposure, because you deserve everything.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions, babe,
Regarding that,
or regarding anything about her?
So yeah, like, I feel like I've asked you this before, but I kind of want to say it on camera. Like, I feel like when you do your makeup, it's like you're like, before an event, it's such a tight schedule that it's almost like getting a tattoo. Like, you can't.
Spider.
Ew. Cómetela.
Y te la comes.
Anyways, so I was like, if you like mess someone up like before a quinceañera, and there's still like 10 more, like, you can't really afford to mess up, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't. So it's like, have you ever had anyone like genuinely say like, I didn't like this? Like,
I mean, I don't think to my face ever. Maybe somebody thought like, I don't like this, and I don't mind. I mean, I'm stubborn, and I don't take constructive criticism well. I've learned that about myself. But when it comes to makeup, if somebody doesn't like something, I want them to tell me, because I want them to hire me again. I want them to feel amazing. So if there's something that you don't like, please tell me within reason. Some people are just so picky, and they're like, you know, this one eyelash hair, I don't know, you know, but within reason, I'm okay with, you know, fixing it or whatever. I have had people tell me, you know, well, this looks a little, you know, one thing here and there, like, well, I would have preferred this or that. Or sometimes you can tell when people don't, it's not exactly what they were expecting. Or if they show me a picture, obviously, like, if you're going to show me a picture of something that looks like your face, because it looks very different. You know, skin tone has a lot to do. Eye shape, eye color, everything. It's going to look completely different. So just because you like a look doesn't mean it's going to compliment you. So when they see, okay, that model looks amazing in it, and you get it done and you don't look exactly the way that they look, sometimes they're a little bit disappointed, which I'm like, oh yeah. And also, I don't want to be that person. Like, sometimes I will say, you know, okay, well, these colors, you know, not so much colors, because I feel like wear whatever color you want. But for example, if your eye is, you know, very hooded and you want like a cut crease, it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to make you, I mean, if that's what you want to do it. Yeah. But it's not going to make you look the way you want to look. It's going to make it look like makeup, and my style of makeup is making you look like yourself, but like better. Yeah, but the better, a more pleasure, no, a more, what's the word? More presentable? No. Yes. Well, yeah, better version of yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, like, están bien güeras y te enseñan una foto de Nicki Minaj, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, no, pues tampoco.
Well, you're not going to look like her.
Or vice versa, estás bien, you know, prietita, and you want white chicks over here, but. I'm saying it because I feel like all the people in this industry, in terms of like how do you say the word, esthetician, barbers también, like there's a meme that going around where like it has always been going around where like los muchachos que tienen el pelo bien like así como escoba, like super straight, but it's like les enseño una foto de Ronaldo, like come on mijo, like, you're not gonna, like, you know. So I feel like that's everywhere for makeup, haircuts, hair. It's
the
like,
service industry.
If you don't have that facial structure or that type of hair, you know, it's not gonna fit you.
Exactly. So well, it's even like with clothes. It's like, well, can I get the body with my romper? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do you go about booking? So say, do you go through Instagram mostly or Facebook?
Yes. Yes. So I have first, I would just do like pretty much by messages. So Facebook, Instagram, just messages. That would get so hectic because I would get messages from everywhere. I would get Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. I would get messages until I started. Now I have a website pretty much. It's just like an inquiry form.
Okay.
So the link is in my Instagram and my Facebook, but mostly through that kind of organizes everything for you. So I try to do mostly just from booking from the link, but I also do like email. I have a specific email for just that, just inquiries, just like anything business for Noemy's Glam LLC. Just kidding. No, well, I did get an LLC now, finally.
Oh my God.
Yes,
She's
but
official.
no, I know. I'm a businesswoman. I'm just kidding. But anything that has to do with that, I'll do email. I try to direct them, like if I get, DMs and stuff, I try to direct them to either the link or the email because, again, it's really, really hard to have messages from everywhere. So when it's all just in one place, it's so much easier to keep track and keep scheduling easy.
Nice. And when they book with you, do you ask them like, send over inspo pics and stuff like that, or what's the booking process usually look like?
Not really, just because in my kit I kind of already have everything. So once you show me a picture, I'm kind of like, okay, like I have this and this. A lot of the times, especially now that I'm doing a lot more work and people are seeing my work, they kind of just say, do whatever you want, or do your signature look. Or they'll give me pictures of my own work, which that's I'm like, wow, okay. What is this? But that sometimes they will send me inspo pics. I don't really ask for them though, but for booking, I pretty much just ask for first and last name, location, how many people it's going to be for, and what time you have to be ready. And then we'll go from there.
So easy booking process.
Yeah.
And then do your days usually start super early then? Like a Saturday and it's a quinceañera, what time are you up?
Yeah, so most of the time, so you guys know Mexicans, we all like to look nice for parties, so it's usually like the whole family wants to get ready. So the earliest I've started is like 3 a.m. Had to be there at 3 a.m. Yeah.
And you still wake up at 2 to do your makeup?
Yeah. Well, okay, I don't usually show up with makeup.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, especially if it's that early, like I really don't, or I'll wear like a little bit of makeup, but I usually don't wear makeup. But I do have to get everything ready, pack my car, get to the place. But yeah, 3:30 in the morning.
And are they like, están ahí like medias dormidas? Like?
Oh my God, yeah. The morning breath. We're friends. We're friends. Me and morning breath and coffee friend, we're tight.
Not the morning breath. I didn't even think about that because you're always so close, like in proximity. So you're probably always like, shut up, please. Take a nap, girl.
Yeah.
Do you do the main girl at the end or at the beginning?
So I try to do like in the middle or like second to last. Because so even if we have time, even if we book with so much time, a lot of the times shit just happens and people start running late. Like everything starts running late. For an event, very, very few times I've been to an event and where everybody's like not like scattered. So it always happens that everybody's like running around late. So I try to do either like in the middle or second to last so that they're ready and the last person to go isn't like being rushed, because the last person is always rushed. If you're going to be, just so you know, if you're the last person, you're going to be rushed. So try not to go last. And nobody ever wants to go first because it's so early. They're like, well, the makeup's not going to last, this and that. I'm like, no, it will last. It will hold. I mean, you're not going to look as fresh as everybody else, but it's going to hold. But when you go last, that's when I'm literally like
shaking.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, and everybody's running out the door. You know how many times I've had to lock the door for people's houses? Yeah, because everybody leaves and they're like, well, you just locked the door, and I'm still like, yeah.
You still have your whole makeup kit out?
Yes, that happens all the time.
That's so funny.
Yes.
So where do you where do you want to take this? Like how far? Because you mentioned how you like not yet like booking every day. But, like, in reality, do you want that? Because I feel like weekends are your busiest days, so you still need days off during the week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and, I mean, hopefully, I'm going to be honest, I don't like to work. No, I mean, nobody likes to work. Yeah, nobody likes to work. But, like, if I can make more money doing less work, I'm gonna do that. So you're absolutely right. I don't want to be booked every single day.
I feel like I take that back.
Yes. But being booked more days, I mean, working more is more money. So obviously, you know, and then once I start getting more, I don't know, more experience, you know, a little bit going more along the way, I want to charge more so then I could work less.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of a day by day kind of person. I do obviously have goals, but I don't know exactly, like, I don't have an end goal. I don't have like this is what I want to do. It would be amazing to do makeup for, like, be a celebrity makeup artist. Like, that would be the goal.
That'd be cool.
But then again, I'm like, realistically, I would love that. But realistically, is there any celebrities in Colorado
No.
besides Sierra with Russell Wilson?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I would love to be a celebrity makeup artist, but that would mean, realistically, I wouldn't be able to have kids because time away from home. And I want to be a very present mom.
Yeah.
So that would be, you know, a lot of traveling. My husband already works a lot, so that would mean, like, what would our relationship be? And I take our relationship, you know, obviously it's me and him. That is my priority. So I don't want to say, like, oh, like, I want to put, I don't think about that until I get there. You know, we don't have to worry about that until it's a problem. But I would love to be a celebrity makeup artist, or, you know, I think that's it. Yeah.
Do you guys, like, makeup artists, MUAs, that's what they're called?
Wow.
Do you ever have thank you. Do you ever have like assistants? Like, say you got so popular where you're, like, really booked, right? But encuentras una muchacha, por ejemplo, like, you know, starting new, maybe a student, pero que haga las eyebrows, like, bien chingones. Like, you trust her 100% with your life to do eyebrows. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Like, you bring her, and then she knocks out all the quinceañera damas eyebrows, and then that gives you more time to focus on makeup. Like, I don't know, is that a thing? Like, assistants?
Yes, I don't have. Okay, so I only I have an assistant for people. She's a really, really good makeup artist. She's my friend's little sister, and so she helps me when I have, like, really big parties and I'm not gonna be able to get done. So she'll do, like, 2-3 people. She'll help me up with that instead of doing, because I was thinking, so the first time I hired her, I was like, okay, so I'll have her do, like you said, like, I'll have her put on lashes and do, like, finishing touches, clean the brushes here and there. But then I was like, you know what? She's also a makeup artist. She also wants, like, aquí el sol sale para todos. So I'm like, I want her also, her name to be out. I want her to be known. So I have her do just full faces of people. Obviously, I'll take, like, the main, you know, I'll take the main, you know, like the quinceañera, the bride, whatever, and she'll do other people. But I do have an assistant for that for big parties. Also, for example, when I went to Glenwood Springs, I took my sister with me, and she does not care about makeup. Like, she does her makeup, you know, but she doesn't care about being a makeup artist. She helped me so much because I didn't have to worry about sanitation. I didn't have to worry about washing brushes. I didn't have to worry about any of that. I literally was just doing the makeup, and it would go so fast. It was just going so fast because she was there doing all the little details. As soon as I was finished with brushes, she would be sanitizing, cleaning them. As soon as, you know, I needed something, hey, will you do this? Hey, will you do this? She was just doing it.
So you need, like, an assistant.
Yes.
Because I know you even travel with, like, your ring light, your the chair, the freaking table. Like, you need someone to help you and, like, put everything out.
It is so embarrassing when I get to houses because my hands are full and I'm, like, dragging. They're like, this is the makeup artist. But when, like, I have somebody with me, obviously, like, we can split it in half. But it's so embarrassing when I get off and I'm, like, ringing the doorbell and, like, everything's falling out. I look like a cartoon. But yeah, an assistant. I mean, right now I use her. I use my sister, or, you know, my friend JoJo. That's her name. I use JoJo. But she has a full-time job. Makeup is, like, a side hustle for her. You know, it was like how it was for me at the beginning. She's really good at it, but, like, this is not her full-time. She's going to school. Has her full-time job, so she kind of helps me. So
That's cool, though.
Yeah. Once, like you said, once I get busy enough, I would have an actual assistant, or maybe my sister. I don't know.
Yeah. Employ your sister or whatever. Damn. I think, like, that is such. I feel like being an MUA is so crazy because you're, like, an artist. Like, you literally have to. I feel like you always take into consideration, like, their face shape and their eye shape and everything. I'm like, girl, I can barely do my eyebrows. Like, I cannot imagine you doing 10 different people's eyebrows and like doing
Some
it the
are
shape
thick,
that they
some are
exactly.
thin. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that? I can't imagine that. So
Yeah.
like, even like the makeup is already hard itself, and then you have to like carry everything else, and then you have to sanitize in like the middle of doing every single. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
that's too much. You are a superhero.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming because you put a
Yes.
lot into perspective because I didn't know, like,
Yeah.
my dumbass would probably grab a brush and then la que sigue, you know? Like,
Ándale.
clean it off my shirt. Like, I would have an apron, you know? Because that's what I thought, like, take the dust off from a darker, y si está más bonita la que sigue, then you, but you gotta sanitize after every...
Yeah, you have to.
And then you gotta
like,
wash
disinfect.
them at the end of the night.
Or not
and
even that. You like for mascara, don't you use like
Damn.
different spoolies for like every girl?
Yes.
Girl, that's
Dude,
too much.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I need to go wash my brushes, is
sponges.
what I
I
need to
have
do.
a million sponges. I have to use a different sponge, a different
Oh my God.
yeah, like anything that touches their face pretty much besides the brushes, I have to dispose or give it to them. It's a one-time use.
Isn't that crazy?
Because, say, like, unas tienen la cara bien flaquita y otras, like, más anchas. So they're, like, what is this called?
Cheekbones?
Yeah,
Highlight?
yeah, but that has to go longer, right? Damn, so
Something
it's
like
like a lot of, like, math. Like,
Not the math.
are
I'm a
you good at
mathematician.
drawing, like, without, like...
Fuck no. Oop, I'm a weird kid.
I was like, damn, oh, maybe she's, like, artistic. Like,
No,
everywhere, you
and
know?
that's what, growing up, I just didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up because I was like, oh, it's either, you're good at math, you're good at sports, you're an artist.
Drawing.
Yeah, and I suck at drawing. I suck at drawing. Like, I can't draw to save my life. So I'm like, wait, like, this is artistic, even though I can't draw, like, at all. And some people, the people that can draw, they're, like, really good. I think
Crazy.
for me, the art of it is making, because my type of makeup is, like, glam makeup. It's like something that you're gonna feel and look good in. It's not anything artistic. I'm not gonna do like I can do like a graphic eyeliner or something editorial, but my favorite type of makeup to do is like when you look like yourself but like just better.
Glamorous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, you have to like buy everything.
Oh my
so
gosh, yes.
You have to take trips to Ulta like every day, and then
Yeah.
or stay on top of like what's his name, Mario.
Yeah.
Makeup by Mario like just came out with like palettes. Oh, I want to buy this. So it's like
Yeah.
you are always
And inflation.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Because people are like,
imagine
well, you're
that.
charging me more now. Well, yeah, sorry, hun. Like, pallets are
Sorry, hun.
are $10 more now because of shipping. You know, like,
Can you be my assistant, please? Because
Can you be my bookkeeper
For
and
real.
tell everyone that I need to charge more because of inflation?
like a lot of guys complain that haircuts are more now, like men's haircuts. It's like all the hand sanitizing liquids, the blades, they all cost more. You know, it's not like in the freaking 1990s where a haircut was at $5, but like the machine was also
$2.
dirt cheap or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
Y la belleza cuesta, como dice Ricky Martin.
So what advice or what is something that you would say to someone that is like in the limbo, like, oh, should I quit my job? Should I go full time? Like, what would you say to them?
I think do it. And that's so like ballsy of me to say, but like just do it, because now that I've been putting, obviously, like I said, your exposure has helped me so much, but also because of that exposure, because of me putting more time into what I want to do, I've just been getting so much more busy. And the more, it just, you hear it all the time, the more you work for it, the more you do it, like it's gonna come more to you.
Yes.
So just do it. If you're scared, obviously, like having money is surviving is an issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're scared about that, I would have a backup, until you're on your feet. But absolutely do it. Invest in products. Do free work if you have to. The amount of times I've done, free work, or, also don't. Que no se pasen, because I've also had some people want me to do like 10 models for free, and I'm like, that's like a lot of money that
That's good exposure for you. 10 free models.
yeah. And I'm like, and they don't even have
Yeah.
they don't even have
Nothing.
exposure. Yeah, but I'm like, thank you for the exposure. No, but yes, do free work, have your limits, but also be humble. Like, be humble about it. Yes, like it's a fine line between yes, your work is amazing. Yes, you are worth so much, but also like no se pasen y be like, well, this is too much. Yeah. And also I had this issue for a long time. I was not charging enough. I still feel like even Luis is like,
oh, Luis 100% tells you.
Yes. Luis is like, you don't charge enough, this and that. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I always think to myself, like, am I worth it? But absolutely. Yes, you are, girl.
Yes.
You are worth it. Girl and guy, whoever.
Absolutely.
You are worth it. So just do it. Honestly, do it. Invest.
Yes. And invest time, because there's a lot of time that you have to invest in it too.
Yes.
Just perfect your craft.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like there's no, like, como dice el dicho, or I made this one up. No, it's not really.
Como dice Jonathan.
Como digo yo, luck isn't necessarily like luck, like a coincidence. I feel like luck is someone that's prepared. Como tú dices, like, Blanca has given you a lot of exposure and whatnot. But if you yourself weren't like the talented MUA that you are and have perfected your talent, then that old exposure would go to waste. You know what I mean? Or when a person's like, oh my God, I'm so lucky I landed the job. Like, yeah, you're lucky because the boss liked you. But no, but 99% is like you're a good person at that job. You perfected your craft. So it's like perfect yourself.
Yes, and everything. I think everything happens for a reason. If something happens, like you said, it's not luck. I think everything just falls into place, and either you're gonna put in the work or you're not.
Exactly.
Either you're gonna do it or not. What do you pick one?
Because if you're on the line between, man, I'm almost ready to quit my job. Should I quit my job? It's like, yes, do it, because you wouldn't be in that place first of all to start with if you weren't like. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't good at what you do, you would never have that talk with yourself should I quit my job?
Exactly.
You would just be another girl working another normal job while being good at makeup, but no one knows. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Yes, and nobody's ever accomplished anything without taking risks. Like, I'm pretty sure when you were like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and do YouTube, it was probably the scariest thing in your life. And then same when you decided to go full time, you know, that was a risk you guys are willing to take. And I'm sure, you know, there's been bumps in the road, but do you regret it?
No.
Absolutely not. Same.
Well, that has been it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this longer podcast. We haven't had a longie in a while, I would say. This one's like, what, an hour and 10 minutes?
Yes.
So I liked it.
But honestly, we could talk about so much more with you, because I feel like we could dig in. This is like getting to know you, but we can dig in up to so many more things. So we will have her on again, of course. Maybe next time you will come accompanied by your husband, Luis, and we can pick both of your guys' brains a little bit.
Yes.
But we're so grateful that you were on the podcast. I hope that you guys know now that there's an MUA in Greeley and she's willing to travel for work. All you have to do is contact her through all her socials. So do you want to let them know what your social medias are?
Yes. So everything is under Noemy's Glam, NOEMYS_glam. I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I won't tell you my Twitter because that's embarrassing. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yay. We'll have all of that in the description. Don't you worry.
Yeah. And to end on a good note, what's that thing I always ask the people? I forgot how I worded it, but like, what do I say? I like word it. Okay, what's like that one motto you live by? Like, if you had to tattoo something on your arm, like a saying, a phrase that you like live your life by, what is that? And we'll end on that note.
Well, I'm actually gonna get it tattooed. I love the phrase "un día a la vez." My grandma and my grandpa, they love the song, but which is very, you know, close to my heart. But the meaning behind it, I very much am a live day by day kind of person. So I will be getting that tattooed. I just need a push. You know what? Actually, I'm waiting for Luis to get his tattoo so that we can go together. Because I don't know, I've been waiting to...
We'll all go together because I want to see that too.
Yeah, you want to see him cry like a chicken?
Yeah, guys, but as she said, un día a la vez. Every single day you get to try again, like start over. Like don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future. Every single day is a new start to a great day. So if you guys are having a great day, then I hope it gets even better. And if you're not, then I hope now you're like, you know what, I can change it, kind of start over either today or tomorrow. But I hope you guys are having a good Friday so far, and I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. Do you have anything else to say, babe?
No, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are killing it. For those that are back in school, back in college, good luck to the to all of you, I hope you do amazing in the school year. Whether you're trying to be a doctor, whether you're trying to be whatever you want in life, you can do it, okay? No, don't give up, especially if you're Latino, Hispanic. Échenle ganas por la raza, because not only do you just have the burden of yourself, you have the burden of our whole community on your back, because you're honestly just trying to be better for everyone. So
Yes. So thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Thank you guys so much.
Yay.
Love you
and
guys.
until next Friday.
later.